we have sometimes a nostalgia for history that doesn't allow us to judge ourselves properly. And it's why it's so difficult that right now, when we look and we say, like, gosh, we tell such a bad story about slavery, we should really lighten that up. You know, countries that can face their own dark histories have an opportunity to make those reforms.
And acknowledging your history, and of course, New Zealand has a lot to acknowledge. Acknowledging your history is not an unpatriotic act. It's a way of saying, I love my country and I know it can be better.
We're good.
But the point I was trying to make before you brutally derailed it was that empathetic and right in these times.
Yes.
My view, the answer is empathetic leadership. It takes courage to be empathetic in these times. Yes. It is a courageous act to be optimistic in these times, but we need more of it, not less.
Absolutely.
And that's just to show one again how brilliant she is as a communicator. Jon Stewart is probably the most respected comedic commentator in the world, and she just took the piss out of him and made him laugh whilst making a pretty brilliant point. So, acknowledging your history makes you patriotic. Yeah, I think that's a pretty powerful statement, Sean.
Yeah, I would certainly agree. I don't think there's any kind of better sign of patriotism than acknowledging your history of kind of, you know, how far you've come, but also how far you've had to go. And I think her framing it that way is, I feel like it's something that the left need to appropriate. We need to make that our thing again.
I tell you what, I've been thinking about this the last couple of days. You hear a lot of people being really confused as to how the right for the last 10 years, I'm picking an arbitrary number, might be 7 years, might be 12 years, I don't know, have owned the free speech moniker. Mm-hmm. And they base it around the left, and it's really been around issues of gender and stuff, around the left, quote unquote, cancelling people or stifling conversation. Previous to that, the left was the home of free speech. Yeah. And I wonder, right, this is just a wondering out loud, not mark the time, mark the date. I wonder if purely because of what's happening with this, sorry to bring up his name again, but Charlie Kirk situation, and having the right literally turn into a 1984 Orwellian, if you don't say what we like, we're going to cancel your show, or you cannot report on this unless you put it through levels of authority first, that this might be the time that the pendulum swings back. Because I think that there's actually some fair criticism of the left for the last decade or so in squashing speech. Now, the speech has been ugly, but that's the only time you need protections on free speech, when the speech is ugly. But I just had this sense and this feeling that I wonder if this is the moment that the pendulum swings back and the left gets to re-own and to start to use again the benefits of free speech. Just some thoughts.
Yeah. So what you're talking about, I think the right was really censorious. Like, it actually kind of, my interest in politics begun really with the Iraq War, following that. And if you'll remember, I was a kid when it happened. It was big news. Bill Maher on Politically Incorrect, him being kind of like the real kind of first victim of what we call modern cancel culture. His show Politically Incorrect was cancelled because of comments that were deemed insensitive in the aftermath of 9/11. You had the Dixie Chicks, country girl band or whatever. They came out against the Iraq War, same exact thing. And then somewhere along the way, a few racists got called out for making racist remarks, and they suffered consequences for it. Pat, if I were to sit here right now and make those same racist remarks, chances are I wouldn't have a job to come back to when my holidays are over. My holidays will probably be indefinite. It's the nature of the free market. It's the nature of capitalism. I've always seen cancel culture as kind of like an extension of capitalism. These people who've lost their jobs or have faced consequences for something insensitive that they've said, I don't really think, if these people on Twitter you know, it comes down to these were all business decisions. Like, this is not a government using its power to end your career. And the careers, by the way, and Kimmel mentioned this in his speech, the careers of 100 other workers on the show.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Little side note to that. You may or may not be aware of this, Whānau, but when Politically Correct got cancelled, that was when Jimmy Kimmel slid into that time slot.
Well, there you go.
So Politically Correct's cancellation led to Jimmy Kimmel's show. And I saw some of Bill Maher last week, and I think he said 24 years to the day of his cancellation, Jimmy Kimmel got cancelled. Got his show was
It's
cancelled.
weird. Like, that's so strange.